name is Tony Lee, and I was in the class of 1973. I came to Malaysia actually in 1960 as a 3-year-old child. I was originally from a family of Chinese people in Indonesia whose mother and father spoke Dutch as their main language between the two of them. But Indonesian was my first spoken language at the age of 3. But when I came to Malaysia, I learned English, and I spoke primarily English. Went to St. John's School and Good Shepherd Convent, I think it was the name of that. But in 1964, I went to the United States and stayed there until 1968, at which time I came back to Malaysia and entered ISKL. And I stayed in ISKL until 1973 when I graduated and went to California. The one thing I think people would like to know about was the question of who pushed Raja Ramjit off the train. Nobody pushed Raja Ramjit off the train. I can say that for sure. I was standing next to him. We were on a train from Singapore back home after a game with SAS. And the Raja was leaning out of the door all the time. And the train happened to take a curve, and centripetal force being what it is, or the lack thereof, he flew out the train, and it was much to my amazement, the man disappeared, and somebody yelled, "Please stop the train." And I looked at the sign that said, if somebody stops this train, it will be a 50 ringgit fine. So I hesitated for a moment, but then I did stop the train. And Tom Clisham was the first person I told about this, and he ran out and looked for Roger. Surprisingly, he only broke his glasses, I believe. Yeah, he did fine. I learned a lot being in ISKL. It was a unique experience. But I didn't speak about it very much when I went back to the United States because I think it was hard for them to understand the experiences that I had, so I never spoke about them very much. It seemed to dilute the experience if I tried to explain, and they couldn't quite understand it. So I went to UC Berkeley and studied electrical engineering there, and subsequently went to medical school and became a physician. And that's what I do now, primarily pushing papers, however, in administration.